Welcome. It is November 2nd. Welcome to November. We are in November now. It is a brand new month. Um, we did we did better this October. We did better this October than we did last October. But last October, I was away on family uh, business for the holiday. I was open about 5 more days, I think, this October than I was last October. So did we do better? I don't really know, but we did okay, but really not where we need to be now. If you recall, last year in November, we did a crazy amount of sales. I posted the thumbnail of today's episode. When you go look at it later, will be some of the first 2 weeks of sales. I just found the old flyer where I wrote it all out before I posted it. And those sales were very much aimed. I had just come back from California, and I had seen this store that was almost more showroom than bookstore, and I was very impressed. And so I really tried to sell specific sections that were overstocked. I had 90% off books. I had 75% off books. Sure, Joe, your novelization is going to come out in Japan first, and probably um, not until the movie's been out for a bit, generally, or right the week of release, if it's really a huge release. The movie was just announced. This is like someone contacted me. You're really throwing me off here, Joseph. Somebody contacted me about a book that he saw news about, and the news was that Lucasfilm had announced that it would do a Kickstarter for this project. That was that was where it was. It was so yes, I will get you that Godzilla book. We should all still be alive then, whenever it comes out. 2027, 2030. Um, it's like people will start talking to me about what they're going to do after Secret Wars at Marvel, and I'm like, what? That's at least 2 years away. Leave me alone. Um, anyway, last year, November 3rd, we started the clearance sale where we moved it ridiculous amounts of stock. Like I made videos explaining that I had specific old debts that I wanted to pay off. We targeted, if you remember, we did episodes of the live stream just showing all the stuff in the sale. And then I directed on every social media. I said, go look at this. You can order. We had a bunch of people order sections because we had 90% off books. We had 75% off books because I desperately wanted to just move stock at any. This year, while I could definitely use the money, this is the first month in a few months where we're starting the month farther behind than I anticipated. We've started them all behind because that's just sort of how we operate. We have big seasons. We'll have the end of November and December, and that will pay off everything. But anyway, we started off a little bit more behind, which we haven't had for about 6 months. Thanks to Do or Die July, really. But anyway, digression. That was. That was what we did last year, and it was very frustrating. If you were to go and watch, I don't know, let's say we did 200 episodes this year. By the way, we're almost at 1,600. By the way, if you go 200 episodes back and you see me talking about that sale after the end of November, at the end of each week, I was frustrated. Some of the sales I thought amazing stuff that was heavily discounted just didn't move. Tons of stuff that I thought had great deals had people come and they just went, look, I'm already getting these deals. I can't get more. That's to be expected at a sale. So I decided with this sale, we were going to give people so much choice. Um, look, we had people come out today because of the sale. I had at least 5 people. Now, again, back in the day, pre-COVID, if I went on social media and I announced a gigantic sale like this on Twitter, Gail Simone, G. Willow Wilson, people whose names we don't mention anymore, Cory Doctorow, since I would have probably just been tweeting about his book that I'm reading right now, they all would have shared it. It would have been seen by a lot of people. And well, that's what I like about beards. They get grayer, and I stay the same age. What do we think? Is that anything? Do we have anything there? Is this the Matthew McConaughey with gray hair saying? I don't know. Anyway, This sale did what the store already does a little too much. It gives too many options. But the five people who came for the sale came for that. They came to dig through the section they cared about, or all the sections. And I had Nate. Love Nate. He works at the Cinema Arts Center. He's just a reader. He just reads all the time. He loves to read. So he thought, he goes, yeah, look, it's winter now. I'm gonna stay home and read books. I read two books this morning. So let's go. And he found 10. He's like, that's 10. I had a young man who came in who I don't know. I don't think he works in the cinema, but we were talking about just film in general. He's a big film guy. Maybe he makes films. And he was like, let's go, hook me up, let's make this happen. And I showed him a bunch of stuff, and he ended up with like 6 books. And I said, oh, so let's just go to the $3 number ones. You throw 4 $3 number ones on there. They'll cost you $1.50 each. So you're basically adding $6 to turn get 3 free, right? When about one more book, get 3 free, to 50% off. So you go from about 40% to 50% off at the additional price of $6. You probably make it up in what you say. So he's like, I love that you're telling me how to game it. And I was like, dude, I need the space. The $3 number one boxes are stuffed. They have great stuff in there. It's like, just hook me up with some horror. I pulled up Aliens by Philip Kennedy Johnson from like 3 years ago, number one. I'm like, boom, that's terrific. Like, there's great stuff in there. That's the thing, is there's great stuff all around the store. People don't buy as much as they used to. People don't come out to us from farther away. That is the big thing. I had a family come in today, and they grew up, they live in the Bronx. Like, we live in the Bronx. I said, oh, I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in Pell Parkway. And they go, not too far. Not too far, but very different neighborhoods. Like, I don't feel like always feel like when people say that, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I grew up in this Italian semi-suburban neighborhood by a hospital, with lots of little dead-end streets and kids playing stickball in the street. The area they talked about, maybe there's some like row houses, which I had too, but right around the corner from me there weren't row houses. There were houses with lawns in it, and big lawns and everything, but like just row houses, and then apartments. It's a different vibe, but I feel like I couldn't imagine growing up like that. I feel so closed in. We had a backyard, we had a fence around it, obviously. Anyway, I'm very tired, obviously. This sale did well. A lot of people came for the sale, but what was really exciting was that a lot of people who were just in because it was a nice Sunday, when I told them about the sale, I went, oh, and they looked around a lot. I had a whole bunch of people who came from out for the sale section with just 2 items. They're like, I found 2 things. And I was like, I'll give you 20% off. It's less than they would get if they got the third one free. And the disrespect. Do you really not know anything about stickball? The New Yorkers can get bats, but New Yorkers, the stickball develop. Oh my God, it's going to become a fucking lesson about stickball, isn't it? Joseph, why do you do this to me? I just wanted to give a little update about the sale and tell people how it's going and encourage them to come to the live stream tomorrow to learn about the sale. And you got me doing a freaking lesson on stickball. I should just not do it. I should just refuse to info dump on you and see how you like it. Stickball is played with originally the handle side of a pool cue. It was then developed into its own kind of stick. I read somewhere else it was a hickory stick that was used for a specific thing. But anyway, and a blue high bouncer. You know those rubber bouncing balls, right? They use in racquetball. So those balls are a million times softer than a baseball. If they hit a loose brick, they will not break it. They could break a window, but in old Lower East Side in Brooklyn, their windows were smaller and they were much thicker. So it wasn't such a problem. It was not as bad as a baseball. And If you hit that ball with a full-on baseball bat, though, the amount of force that you're hitting it would absolutely break something because the ball is so much lighter. So you're shooting it out. So a much, much lighter and smaller stick is used. And that is why stickball can be played in the narrow confines of the Lower East Side, Brooklyn, and eventually spread all throughout Manhattan and the world. Everyone plays stickball. No, I didn't play stickball. We had a schoolyard around the corner from us. People played stickball in the schoolyard, but there was also room enough to have a softball game. But softballs weren't invented in the late 1800s, 1900s when stickball developed. Stickball also developed with rules about walls and things like that because it was made in such confined spaces. Stickball conversation is over now. We are done with that. Yeah, we had a lot of people come and take advantage of the sale. I also had a customer who is, he's an every 6 weeks customer, but he has a pretty decent sized hold list. So he picked up almost $200 of books. That makes for a good Sunday, but we definitely did better than a good Sunday. If we had done this all without the sale, if this was all just normal, I said we had a crazy Sunday. But because a lot of it was the sale, I was busy, but I wasn't packed. There were moments where the store was very full, which I was really thankful for. But a lot of that was because people were staying to look things over because of the sale. Every time this happens, I think to myself, oh, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you. I really do. Every time something like this happens, I think to myself, we should just have discount bargain sections that people can go through. And I'm like, you goddamn idiot. You have an entire used section of half-price books. You have an entire room filled with dollar comics. You have discounted sections for people to go through. And people used to do it. And they still occasionally go to the back issue room and just spend hours there, go through the shelves. I have multiple people who do trading all the time, and they go through all those shelves of trading regularly. It happens. So I have to back off of that. But my goal in this sale, the beard is looking very full under this light, isn't it, Joseph? Right? I feel like this beard is like the fullest it's ever been. Once you get closer, you can see the spots. But anyway, there's like no randos joining us, by the way. This is crazy. There's not been a single moment where my number up here has gone to like 15, and someone goes, hey, what's there? Where's there? It's just amazing. I haven't had this experience, I think, ever on YouTube. I think once we hit 10 live streams, it was just boom, we were in there. It's incredible. I really think people responded to the fact that we had a lot of quality stuff on sale, but I'm going to be frank. We sold tons of absolute Batman, absolute Wonder Woman, and absolute Superman. I probably sold, there were more people excited that I had those books than by the sales. If I tripled down on my orders on those books, I would not be in trouble with that. That's crazy to me. I've never experienced anything like this. There's Ultimate Spider-Man, nowhere near that. People were interested in it, but they didn't always buy it. I 5 copies at a time did me. Last week we got about, I don't think absolute, so legs is an interesting word. The absolute trades after 3 months of being out have started to penetrate in the way the single issues have. Meaning people are hearing about Absolute when it was up to like 5 or 6 and going to stores and they couldn't get 1, 2, and 3. You know? Hold on, Joe. Now people are going to stores and they're like, oh, do you have the trade? And it's like, oh, we have Absolute Wonder Woman or we have Absolute Superman. We're out of the others, which, by the way, at the end of today I was. And people go, oh. So the next time they store it, they want to go, oh, I better grab it. I heard it's fire. Oh, I heard this is amazing. And they just grab it. So my new order for Batman, which hopefully comes before the end of the week, was a lot. Outside the trilogy is an interesting question, Joe, because they're the only ones who have trades. Single issues, I still move a decent amount of Manhunter. I never can keep Manhunter in stock. Absolute Evil is one of the books that I double ordered from 2 distributors by accident, and I'm still moving Absolute Evil pretty steadily every Sunday. Like Deadpool Batman has slowed to like one a day on average, whereas Absolute Evil has gone to like two or three. So that's doing it. But yeah, I still have number ones of Flash and number ones of Green Lantern. Again, I ordered like 50 of each of those. Um, I think if I made a bigger stink that I had them, I would sell them. But a lot of that single issues of those books, um, the trades, DC compacts. Um, I had people come and ask for Ultimate stuff as well. That stuff is moving a lot better than even stuff I had on sale that people just, didn't know what it was. If it has become so interesting to watch people. I had someone say, "Do you have any Nightwing omnibuses?" She said, "This is towards the end of the day," and I said, "Oh, do you have a specific one you're looking for?" Because like, and she goes, "Oh no, just any omnibus with Nightwing." And I was like, "Well, we're having this clearance sale, and look at all the omnibus that are in the clearance sale. We don't get a lot." But I said, "But I've got Nightwing in the dollar bins, and I've got recent issues, and the recent issues are discounted right now." And she found $12 issues, a bunch of issues from the recent back issues, a couple of variants, all from, and the variants and the recent back issues were all discounted. The dollar books were 12 for 10. She got like a stack of about 16 comics, only one of which didn't feature Dick. No, that's not true. Dick Grayson wasn't in every single one of them. Probably in about 8 or 9 of them. For like 29 bucks. It was a very nice deal. Less, I think. And that's barely my sale. The sale saved her on a couple of books. Um, no, on one book. Sale was effective to get her one free. She bought three things from the discounted book. It was buy two get one free. Saved her $5 or $3. And she found stuff. There's stuff to get. I had this guy came in. This was a nice story. I had a guy come in and he goes, "Hey, yeah, I'm looking for some Superman, but like some action Superman. Some Joe, you're gonna like this story. Like some, really Superman doing crazy cosmic stuff, like fights." And I said, "Well, we've got some Superman collections. The thing is, I was gonna say that most of the big Superman collections don't deal with that stuff. Sometimes you get an omnibus of some giant event." But before I could, I said, "Well," he goes, "Well, I'm reading All Star Superman right now. He's like kindly God Superman who, helps people, is great, but like, I want him like fighting things." So I said, "Okay, so first off, there's Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman. Absolute Superman is much more, he's angry. I said he's very early Superman, like what Man of Steel is." He goes, "I love Man of Steel, the struggle he's having because he wants to help, but he's too powerful." And I'm like, "Right, so that's absolutely okay." He grabbed that. I showed him a couple others, and then I'm like, "But if you really want that stuff, as I'm always saying, right, Joe? You know this. You know where I'm going with this because you own my CD. It's it's a community reference, right? If you know where I'm going with this, right?" He goes, "Toothbrushing." Sorry. I said, you need some Triangle era Superman. Like, you just want Superman doing some crazy fighting Mixel Pixel, that sort of stuff. That's what you want. And he goes, "Oh, you got Death of Superman?" And I said, "Look, I can order you a $30 trade that has like the 7 main issues. And I can order you a giant book that has every funeral for a friend connected, Reign of the Superman." He goes, "Oh, how much is that?" I'm like, $125. He goes, "Oh." I'm like, "Or we can go into my dollar bin right now, and I can pull out almost every issue of the Death of Superman from across the different titles at 12 for $10." And he's like, "Can we do that?" And I went back there, and so as I've been talking to him, he's been saying, every time you come and give recommendations, it always works for me. You always you get what I'm saying. And I said, I said, "Look, well, right now what you're telling me is very specific. It's very easy for me to know what I'm looking for." He goes, "Right, no." He goes, I always try to be like that, but you've always been great." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." I recognize the guy a little bit, but he doesn't look super familiar. Um, I'm getting him the Superman stuff, and uh, I started talking to his girlfriend about what she reads. She reads romance. I was talking about different books. And he goes, "I've been coming here since I was a little kid." And I'm like, "What?" The guy's like 20, 22 at most. He goes, "Yeah, my dad used to take me to football. And after the game, we'd come here." And he goes, and since I was a little kid, I'd come and I'd ask you, and you would always like find me like perfect, exactly what I'm looking for. And like, it's great, man. Thank you." And it's like, this is the middle of a sale. There's a giant sale going on. I'm in the back room. I don't know what's going on up there. I just started talking to this guy's girlfriend about if she likes romance for the romance or the smut, because she said I read modern smutty romances. Um, and I look at him and I'm just like, thank you, dude. Thank you. That's really. He goes, yeah, you're like. And I gotta tell you, I am. Like, that's all I did today. All I did say, because it gives me so much pleasure when someone's like, I'm looking for blah blah blah, and I'm like, why are you looking for blah blah blah? And they're like, cause this. I'm like, oh really? You're looking for blah blah blah? And I show them both. They go, this is what I was looking for. Like, come on, who doesn't enjoy that? You found the person, you know. I don't know. It's just like, and I really enjoy it. And people say it to me. I said I got a couple times today. They go, you have so much pleasure in what you're doing, and I'm like, yeah, like guys, I taught for almost a decade, through my 20s and 30s. I don't want to do something that I hate anymore. Like, like I, I'm doing this because I love doing it. There's no reward for it, monetarily. And it's just funny to me. It's like I'm doing this clearance sale, and people are like, "Wow, that's a great sale," and I'm like, "Yes, because they're great books." I'm not getting rid of these books because they're bad books. They're books that nobody wants. You people can't read all the books. So here, I'm making it so tempting that you buy them. Um, oh, come on, dude. So here, let's right. Yeah. Um, I don't think I'm the best. I honestly believe there's plenty of other retailers and people who love comics who are better than it, and I am. But in the local area, I will definitely say I'm top of the game. And it's rewarding. But the problem is, this is the problem. This is where it becomes really a major issue. There's too much good stuff coming out. Well, I get your emails, right? It's the same name. Um, there's too much great stuff coming out. Like, that's why we have all this clearance. That's why we have all this stock. We don't get enough customers in. Um, Joseph, I honestly know a lot of shops, and you do too. Some of them aren't around anymore, but there's a lot of shops where there's people in there who could really help you find great stuff. Very often they don't have it in their shop, just like I often don't have the stuff I'm talking about in my shop. That some of those shops have terrible customer service. People might be great, but their bosses won't order you a book without like prepaying for it, or they don't stock certain things and they just won't get them, or the place doesn't isn't organized in any way. There's other factors that I think we also excel at. I think we're an excellent store, but my ability to suggest stuff is not as unique as everyone thinks. I just think that for the Long Island, New York area, I'm very good. And Joseph, if you know me for 13 years and order comics for me for basically that entire time, then I'm gonna have an intuitive idea of what you're looking for. Yes, I guarantee. So you've only been with us for what, like 3 years? Give me 10 more, dude, and I will know your tastes amazingly. Just ask Joe. Um, oh my God! But yeah, today was a really good day because people people were looking, one, to come out and support the store by buying stuff, which always feels nice. But two, when they were just in there looking around, and I went, oh yeah, we're having this big sale. They went, oh, and it really got me even more like determined to make this sale work, because I think the more stuff, if we just pack, literally, where I have the superhero stuff up against the wall, we're going to look at all of this tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to do the live stream of the sale. We're going to look at everything in the store that's discounted right now, and it'll be available to order. Tell your friends. If we took everything that's going to be sideways along the superhero rack, and all I had was face out stuff, just those little displays and the compact comics on the top, and nothing spine showing, I would move twice as many books. I would. Even if it was stuff that people had never heard of, but it's a character they heard of. It's a famous character. I would move a lot more stuff. The spines hurt me at this point. We got to be more of a showroom. We got to sell more of this stuff. I have so much discounted for that very reason. The big thing that I need is I need people from farther than I mean, the Bronx is pretty good, but they were not here to buy comic books. They were in Huntington for another reason. I need people who are local to New York. I need people from Brooklyn. I need people from Queens. I need people in the whole tri-state area to go, holy shit, Escape Pod Comics is having such an amazing clearance. I've got to go there. There are books in my variant box, which you could get at now 50% off if you buy 10 of them, that go for double their price online. If you're a buy sell trade guy. There are graphic novels on my bookshelf that you cannot find anywhere else, and I'm offering, if you buy enough of them, they're going to be discounted. It's just ridiculous. I just don't know how to get that word wider. That's a humongous issue that we have faced here in the last 3 years. Getting that kind of, so last year in the November clearance, we put, like I said, as I started this last year, put a concentrated effort into making every post big and public, and shared it here and shared it there. I'm going to try that tomorrow. Tomorrow, hopefully, we're going to come here on the live stream early in the afternoon. We're going to look at everything in the sale, and then I'm going to blast that video on every social media channel. Be like, oh yeah, that's exactly the point. There are books in the graphic novel section that, I get it. You can't buy everything. People can't afford to get every single book that's there. That's fine. But there's books there that, like, based on your taste, you can look through. You'll find 10 things. Whether you can afford, $250 of graphic novels at 50% off is still over $100 of comics. And you might not be able to afford that. That's why I'm trying to do it in November, where people can buy gifts. You've got a budget of $100 of presents for people. You can buy graphic novels for, and you can come to me. We just talked about how good I am at this, and go, okay, my dad loves Robert Ludlum's spy novels, the Morse TV show, but not the Morse books, and Monty Python. What you got for him? And I'll find something. Now my brain's doing it. It's like, shut up. You just said random things. Don't try and do this. That's not a person. You made it up. But I think some John Allison would probably work very well. But anyway, maybe I just described John Allison. The point is, I can help you find those gifts now, and you can buy a whole bunch discounted. Like, that's the word that I need to get out. And I am not Zoran. I can't escape that dude on my social media feed. He is everywhere. He's talking to every influencer. He's talking to every celebrity. He's in every Broadway show. He's making memes. He's sharing other people's memes about him. Like, I need his team to promote the comic shop. Zoran, reach out to me. Let's make this happen. Special election day visit at Escape Pod Comics on the 4th. I'll tell everyone. I'll just start tweeting that out. He's going to be at my shop. Everyone come out to the shop. Long Island's not in New York City, but he's coming to our shop. Come meet him here. What do you think, Zoe? I'll promote the store. You love small businesses. Oh, I'm okay. I'm way too tired to be doing this right now. I'm gonna tweet. I'm gonna put it up on Instagram. I'm gonna share this highlight of this moment where I'm laughing hysterically, and I'm gonna link to this video. It has Zoran Montami to come to the Escape Pod Comics on November 4th to celebrate Election Day. Get out of the city, dude. You don't want to be there right now. Because then we get his social media team on the sale, and his social media team is fire. Everyone admits that. They're killing it. Whether you support the dude or not, which is whatever. I'm a socialist, don't get me started. Just go watch some of the old videos. But his social media team is amazing. So let's get them on the sale. All right, I think that's it. Tomorrow, early afternoon, we will be looking at all the sale books that can be ordered from anywhere on the internet. I will ship them out to you. You can ask anybody. I'm very good for it. I can't even. Last year, do you remember? Do you remember last year's sale? When someone on the internet ordered from like the 90% off sections in every sale, and I sent him like 4 boxes to Chicago. Oh, I think the shipping was almost like half. It was like 50%. There was the bill after all the 90% off, and then half that amount added was like shipping. I think it was like $115 bill and like $55 for shipping or something. But anyway, I will do that tomorrow. Until then, remember, as Kurt Vonnegut taught us, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind. Yeah, 4 boxes.